When you are a parent,
Yes.
you look at your child while they're still young.
Yes.
You look at their weak point, their strong point, their fears, their strength, their intelligence, and you build from there. There's no such a thing as I will be a mother and a father to you.
No.
No. If you're a mother, you're a mother. If you're a father, you're a father.
No, you are the first woman on the podcast. Did I tell you that?
Oh, who knows not, and knows not that he knows not. It's a fool. Shun him. He who knows and knows not that he knows, he's asleep. Wake him. He who knows not and knows that he knows not, is a child. Teach him. But he who knows and knows that he knows is wise. Follow him.
I don't know. It's Sister Ntswalo, Pastor Ntswalo. But I think we must also acknowledge that part because of where you come from. I love acknowledging the people who make us to be or who have contributed to become who we are. I am not sending shout outs because our audience are used to shout out to small man. And then as much as this is a respected man in the community, a pastor, a leader, is your leader, of course, I love to also acknowledge him since we are here, maybe because he has also impacted you.
Yes, though I did not. We're already shooting.
Yes, it's a conversation.
Yeah. Let's use Sister Ntswalo.
Sister Ntswalo.
Not Pastor, we're not yet there, not yet.
Oh, you know, not yet.
Yes, yes, they called me Pastor Ntswalo at church because they appointed me to be a pastor.
I wanted to understand that part because I think I only call you Sister Ntswalo because I got close with you at the workplace and stuff.
Yeah. But
I realized as time propels story, like there are people, actually a lot of people who are seeing a different thing from me because me now I'm only exposed to Sister Ntswalo most lokufika antirwini. So welcome to the Lazy Room, Sister Ntswalo, and thank you for your time. Thank you for being patient with me. Since I have asked you, it was, I don't remember the month, but we were still doing audio podcasts. Yes, and you were still patient with me that even when I told you that we are now on video podcasting, you never said, video, I'll think about it. You just said, just tell me, and then welcome once more.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for welcoming me.
Oh, okay. So before I could actually get you to where or why we are sitting here, I love us to have a upbringing of actually who is Sister Ntswalo for someone who is watching out there. Not confidential, obviously, just common things, name, place.
Yeah. I'm Ntswalo Mawila, born and bred in Julusbek, Solani.
Okay.
I am the daughter of the soil, a Christian in Logos Christian Center International, under the pastoral leadership of Apostle N.G. Sibila Flojit. Yeah, that's me.
Okay, it's Apostle. I always didn't know.
It's Apostle.
Yeah, so I really love him. But then a topic for another day when it comes to such things. So, Sister Ntswalo, I've brought here in the Lazy Room because you see, I think the very first time that we had a conversation, I was not conversating with you. You were conversating with someone.
Yes.
And then I got in the middle of the conversation. But as much as I remember, it was because you were talking about something which someone who is out there, if they had the conversation, their life would have turned around or they would start to see life in a different perspective.
That's true.
Because, let me not go deep. I was saying, I brought here for us to discuss further. Of course, we are not starting. We've been discussing.
Is it okay for me to look at you, or should I look at?
Anything for you, which makes you feel comfortable.
No, I just want to hear you clearly.
Yeah.
Okay, let's continue.
Anything comfortable for you. So I was saying that you were talking about the upbringing of kids, how we become because of how we are raised, or because of the experience that we have in the environment that we find in, be it our homes, be it the villages. I cannot say the country. It's limited. Yes, because you go out to the country after you have experienced in your village. So I don't know where you will start, but I want you to take me through that experience, Yakuri. How does a child become a bad child according to how you see it, or becomes bad to the society, to the community, not looking at the side, peer pressure, but because of how they grew up. So
okay. Thank you for the question. Thank you for bringing it here.
Yes.
I want to start here. I want to quote a scripture because I want to derive a point out of it.
Okay.
Jeremiah chapter number 1, verse number 5. God says to Jeremiah, before I formed you, I knew you. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. And he said, before you were born, I sanctified you. And he continued to say, I ordained you to be a prophet to the nations. That's a child. Before God created a child or a person or human being, he already had an assignment for that person. Yeah, he does not create you and then say, what am I going to do with this child or with this person? No, he actually create an assignment, and then he create a human being to fit that assignment. So that means every child or everybody here on the world have something to do. Even if you're not doing anything, but you have something to do. You are created to do something. So coming to the issue of upbringing a child or raising a child, parents we should understand, or we should know that raising a child is an assignment from God. No one is able to make a child but God.
Exactly.
So it's not our child, it's not our children, it's God's children, it's God's people, it's God's property. He just entrusted us with. So from the ancient days, parenting actually it seemed like to me, and I stand to be corrected, it seemed like our great grandparents or grandmothers and grandfathers, they not really failed, but they battled when it comes to raising, because they did not really equip our parents to raise us.
I'll say in a considerate manner. Somehow.
Yes, let me just say they tried to raise their kids in their inadequacy. They tried to raise their kids adequately, and then they did not really equip on how. There's no formula that they used to raise children. Now I was talking about the ancient people.
Yes.
Today our parents don't know how to raise us. They were not equipped. They don't know how, but they are trying. And this is how they try. They tell us what to do, how to do it, or sometimes just actually they were raised in this way, right? It's like, okay, do not come home late.
After 6.
After 6.
Yes.
Why? I just told you to not come home late.
I'm
the parent here.
Yeah.
This is my house. You do what I'm telling you to do. You don't ask any question. Now, then it worked.
Okay.
They did not ask questions really. They grew up knowing that after 6, before 6, you make sure that before 6 you're at home.
Yeah.
Today, we are parents. We are doing the same.
To our kids.
Now, the danger now is that there is social media. If we do not communicate well with our kids, if we do not educate them well, we might lose them.
If we do not equip them. And you've touched something about equipping. Basically, it means if they are not equipped, we are also not equipped.
And our kids won't be equipped.
Yes.
Now it's a chain.
It's a chain.
And we need to generate a generation that is equipped.
Yes.
Somebody must stand and say, can't we just do it this way? There is no formula, like I said, for to raise children. Because we are kids are different. I cannot raise my kids the way you raise them. But there are some common things that we can use together. But we know that kids are different. Yeah,
like there are common principles. For instance, you cannot say I'm raising my kids differently the way I want, but your kids is insulting everyone.
Exactly.
Like, you know,
we're still coming because the foundation that I'm laying here, I just want to show us that as parents, we must learn to communicate.
Yes.
And we must actually create a safe space for our kids to come to us with any question they might have in their lives. This will help us to raise them the way we want them. Raising a kid, it's a full-time job. We have to bear in mind that I am raising somebody's husband, somebody's wife. I'm raising somebody's mother, somebody's father. I'm not just raising a child.
They will not remain a child forever.
No.
You know, like it seems like you are reading my Facebook wall yesterday, if not a day before. I just posted something concerning kids. That kids also have a life to live.
Exactly.
We are not going to raise our kids how we are raised or how we shouldn't be raised. Exactly. But we are going to raise our kids how we are supposed to raise them.
Actually, we have to build a character. Because in building that character, you are building that man, you are building that woman, you're building that father, you're building that mother, a daughter-in-law, a son-in-law, a person, a leader in society.
Yes.
Because it's not just a child. I said when I began this conversation that God created us for an assignment. So when we raise them, God entrusted us with them as kids to build that character in them so that He can use them for His purposes in the world. So it's not like I'm supporting you guys, I'm buying bread for you, you cannot go to school without breakfast, but this is what you're doing. It's our responsibility, and it takes commitment and dedication to raise a child. We are so busy as parents these days, but we need to be intentional when it comes to raising our children, because you find yourself not having time. You find yourself relying on your phone to keep them quiet while you're busy. You find yourself making sure that they just go and watch television, go do something, I am busy.
You know, I think I'll also ask you again, we'll talk about what you just said now about giving them a phone for your free time. It's fine at first, but let's not talk about it now. It will change the conversation.
Okay.
Yes.
I was just passing there. Like you want your space because you are busy, and they want their space because they are your children. You have to build them so that they can be what they were created to be. But because I'm a Christian, I'll remind parents and all of us that we do not know how to raise children. That is why our grandmothers and our grandfathers raised our parents the way they raised them. We do not know until we go back to the one who gave us these children and say, how do I raise this person? How do I do it? God, it's me, the channel that you used to bring this child on earth. But how do I go about raising them? Because they are different. You might have 5 kids, but you have 5 different people.
You have 5 different. The reality of it is that you have 5 different people.
And you have to raise them with your love, time, and looking at them like, what is this child? Okay, what child number 1 is like? What's their weak point, their strong point? what do they love, what their strength, and so that you can build them the way they are. You don't bend them.
You
don't
build them
break
around what's relevant with their character and with who they are actually.
Thank you. So this is how we should do it until we go back to the Father and say, teach me to raise these children. We will continue to fail.
So basically, is that we are seeing the results of whatever good or bad results from our children, not because of how they are raised, but at some point it also adds that because of how they are raised, it shapes who they become. So I'm trying to understand, or someone actually, not me, will try to understand how does this has to do with one's choice, because I heard a lot of people saying, Kuri, as for me, like me, I'm older than, I'm actually over 18, as in the South African law says you are responsible. Yeah, according to law, I'm an adult, responsible. When I do something, they say it's my choice. But the depth of it, you would understand that there is no choice in doing what's negative.
Yes.
There is no choice in doing what's wrong. Not wrong because it's wrong to someone, but even by mere facts, it's actually wrong. I like to go to that extent. I just respect you. I like to go to that extent that like wrong things that are done intentionally are not wrong things but are stupid things. There is a very different from a stupid thing and a wrong thing. So someone will try to understand how does like someone's upbringing has an influence in who they become, since it becomes their choice.
When a child is still young, we talked about building a character. When a child is still young, as a parent, you look at them, their strength, you look at their fears, you look at the intelligence, you look at everything around them, and you build from there. Now, when a child...
Can you repeat that? Can you repeat that?
What I'm saying is,
yes,
when you are a parent,
yes,
you look at your child while they're still young.
Yes.
You look at their weak point, their strong point, their fears, their strength, their intelligence, and you build from there.
You know, like, because we are competition now, we will be doing that like...
Thank you, Holy Spirit. Now, what we need to understand is that when they're still young, remember, kids trust their parents. You affirm that child while they're still young.
To that extent that I grew up thinking my father is not afraid of anyone.
Yes. Your father is cock.
Yeah.
Now, you affirm that child while they're still young. You tell them you are strong. You are intelligent. Nothing can beat you in the world. No one can be better than you. You tell them what they must hear and let that grow with them. Now, when they are grown, because when you, like you said, when you're 18, you're adult in this country. When they are old enough, when they are adults, you believe that what you instilled in them will go the long way. Because now, whatever they choose, they will choose based on who they know they are, who their parents told them they are. Then it doesn't matter what their peers says. It doesn't matter what they see on social media. It doesn't matter what they encounter in life. They will always remember what mom or dad said
about them,
about
who they are.
And that's our assignment as parents, to raise that giant, to say, I can do it. And everyone else is like, oh, come on, you from Julusberg, Solani, do you think you can do it? And said, yes, I can do it. I am the one who was assigned to do it in our community.
In the very same environment.
The fact that I'm thinking of doing it, the fact that I am strong enough to believe that I can do it, then I'm the one to do it. But it starts while they're still young. You give them that strength.
You learn them.
You educate them.
Yes.
And the other thing is, we as parents, we have to educate our kids to be free. A boy child, a girl child, to be free to talk to us. Let them articulate their feelings. Let them talk their thoughts, their fears, everything. Because a child can come back home disappointed at school or somewhere else, and they get into the house, they bang the door of their room, and then they just disappear. And then you're like, what is wrong? And said, nothing, mommy. And that's it.
No way.
Something is wrong.
Just passed. And you have seen that something is wrong. Even from their face when they went in.
But you just leave it like that. If you don't challenge that child, then it will be.
And even the approach, like I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I've noticed that the approach of parents in the the villages, not the black society, the villages.
Yeah.
Is that they say I'm trying to speak with her or him, but she don't want to talk. You cannot just come to me and say, what's wrong? And expect me to tell you.
I was coming there, the tone of our voices when we speak to our kids. Remember, I talked about creating a safe space. That is very much important, because if your children are not free, they don't have that safe space to talk to you, then they will talk to the people on the streets. Do you think the people on the street can raise your child the way you want them or the way you wish them to be raised?
No, let us use the way you have seen and experienced them, and that this one is good at this. Exactly. This one is good at this. They don't know their child more than you do.
They cannot raise your child. But if you don't create that safe space,
they will find
that space somewhere
else.
And the question is, will they be raised in the right way? So it's not easy to create that space, I must say, but it's possible and it's doable.
Yeah, it's doable. Because
if you can manage to do that, I've seen a family. It's somewhere in America. They do this when they have dinner. They have dinner, same table, same time, every day. What they do, they ask their kids. It starts with dad and mom. They ask each other, how was your day?
How was your day?
What was your low? What was your high?
What did you achieve?
What did you achieve? And how do you think you can tackle or handle that situation that made you sad? They're trying to teach their kids to communicate their feelings.
Communication.
And to face their challenges and look for a solution themselves. So if we can master that, I'm not saying we have to copy. Do what it works for your environment and for your family.
You just shared a certain technique which a certain family is using. Yes.
Now, if you know that it must be done, find your technique. Yes, you can copy there and there, but make sure that you have your roots in the family. Things that you do in the family, that you say, this is how we do it in this family. And then we are raising leaders.
We are growing. I wanted to stretch it a little bit for our viewers, of course. I'm not saying they are dumb.
Yes, I understand.
I'm saying that we have different kinds of people, because someone might unsubscribe, like, why this person keeps
exactly.
Just because someone is wise doesn't mean all of them that are watching will be wise. So, but then I'm just trying to stretch it so that everyone can understand that what you just shared here is a very powerful thing, very deep for some of us. Some can say it's not deep, but for me it's very deep. That is why I want to stretch it. That I asked about Uri. How does a child end up bad, or why does it seem like someone may be contrary in a way that how does it becomes how they were raised when they do bad things? You understand? Because here we are seeing a lack of courage, firstly, and a lack of light, a lack of they're being. You mentioned something about we look up to our parents as kids. So basically, while you tell them, they'll first believe it the most, and when you affirm them of who they are,
you cement it.
You understand? You root it and you ground it. Like it's unlike just saying, Uri, Mena, I want my kids to be in this way, but you have studied them that this one will make a good football player. And then advice, unfortunately I don't know any player. So and that it's what I wanted to stretch. But in overall, I feel like the time that we have to today is limited.
Okay.
You understand? And like we are just going to brush there and there. For my audience, I don't know, and I don't care how busy will you be, but I will be on your tail to make a lot of time so that we can have more conversations on the lazy room.
God willing, we will have time. You touched on the choices that an adult make. When I went back, I was trying to show you that as parents we have to build our children, bearing in mind that they will be adults. And when they're adults, they will face the world. And in the world, they will be forced to make choices.
Yes.
Now, when you still bring that child, let's do it from that toddler having
maybe I will say
a child,
a child,
toddler, and then a child, and then an adult.
Let's say from crawling to toddling to
exactly. Now, when you're still at stage 1, think about stage 2. When you're stage 2, stage 3. So the choices that we make when we're adults, they have so much to do with the way we were brought up. Some they bully other people, some they steal, some they do things that when you look, you think, what is going on in this person's mind? The problem is there's something wrong with them, that when they do something bad to other people, they feel better. That is, maybe you were traumatized. Maybe you were told when you grow up that you will be nothing. Maybe you were told when you were a child that you are stupid. And to show that you are not stupid, you have to slap somebody. You just have to be that boss. When you walk around, everybody say like, "Washtiba, that's it." And everybody, you want to be felt, because there's something inside you there's a void that is not felt. You are broken.
Yeah,
because
broken and void.
Because you were not built. There is no character in you. You are
just a human being, a person, and it's no longer recording. I don't know for how long.
Jesus. We're still talking about the child that is void and broken.
Yes.
It means that child's parents failed that child, because if he's void and broken, somebody didn't do his assignment or her assignment. Remember, parenting, it goes like there's a family setup where there's a mom and dad, or a single parent like me. It's either you are a single father or a single mother.
So I love to clarify that I'm not trying to expose myself or anything. So you're saying you're a single parent.
Yes.
I'm trying to understand if I'm also a single parent or not, but my child is with his mom and we are not together with the mom. We are co-parenting.
Yes,
is it single parent? I'm a single parent.
There's setups. There's a family setup, a mom and dad.
Yes.
And then there's a single mother or a single father.
Yeah.
And there's a co-parenting. That's where I was coming. Because if you're a single mother, a single father, it means you're raising the child all by yourself.
Alone.
Yes, alone.
Oh, I wanted that clarification. Yes. I couldn't ask anyone because
No, that's fine. And then when we raise these children, there is no such a thing as I will be a mother and a father to you, my child.
No.
If you're a mother, you are a mother. If you're a father, you are a father. And that void.
Sorry.
That void. If the father is absent, that void will be there. Now, as a mother, how do you navigate? How do you raise a child and make sure that he becomes whole?
I think it's my very first time hearing a woman spitting those kind of a thing. You cannot be actually from that point to this point now that you are making, because I think one of the things that consists confusion, it's that most parents in the communities, the fact that they think they don't need someone, they also think their children don't need that particular someone.
And the mistake that we do as people, when we have kids, if we disagree on something, parents, we think supporting a child is raising a child. This is two different things.
That's why we're going to have you more often. Yeah.
You can buy the news, but that's not raising a child.
No.
Raising a child is building that child. You can buy him KFCs. You can do. They can have anything they want.
Even when it comes to support, you must be specific with kind of support you're bringing.
So we have to understand that, because we fail our kids sometimes because of this thinking of ours that I can afford to support this child. I can afford to raise this child by myself. Are you really understanding what you're talking about? Because raising a child, that is why when a child is raised by a single parent, they will always ask, where is mom, where is dad? Then you have to be wise enough to raise that child knowing that you are not the problem. You didn't do anything wrong. I love you, he loves you, or she loves you, wherever she is. What you need to understand is that this is how I want you to grow up. So it goes to, we're building a leader or building somebody who, when they grow up, becomes an adult, they will be wise enough to make good choices. That's what we want. Yeah. Everybody want a child to say, but we talk, whose child is this? And you stand up and say, that's my child. The question is, are you prepared to build that child to that point? Because when David, I'll quote the word. When David killed Goliath, Saul asked, whose son is this?
Oh, when you sing like this, the thing is that we are not here to debate about Christianity or anything. If they'll forgive us if they are not Christians at the end of the day. So the thing is that even when you see something wrong, you are first concerned who is with this one. Wakaman.
And that shows the importance of the assignment of parents. They don't say, before they ask you, before they beat you, before they reprimand you, Wakaman.
They want to know.
And it means what's kind of a parent who felt like this?
Have you realized, let's say, oh yeah.
Whatever it is.
You understand?
Yes.
Yeah.
They know we have to do it, and we have to do it right. But then again, I will say it again, go back to the one who gave you the child. When we buy something, when you buy a machine, buy a car, everything, there's a manual on how to operate whatever it is that you bought. Now we call them bundles of joy when they arrive, but we don't open that manual, or we don't go back and say we need a manual to raise this child, to operate this. It's there. Just go and say, God, how can I raise these children?
When you say it's them, I love me. I'm one of those that love media, of course. I do come across different posts and stuff, and then they depict something which I love, which says, a child, you see a child, when a child is born, it does not have to cry for the mom to know it's hungry. The connection speaks a lot. And I think, for now, since we have discussed a lot of things, one of the things that is also lacking, it's that connection that we have with our child. As they grow, we are no longer seeing them as important as when they just arrived. Have you seen how prepared we are when they are here? The treatment, how we laugh, the joy in the family.
We come together.
We come together.
Yeah. And it goes back to our busyness. We're so busy, they arrive and then 3 months later, then they are here. This is the world. I'm busy. I'm too busy. So we need to, I've learned something from somewhere about zebras. You see, they almost look alike. Me and you cannot differentiate. We just see the same thing. But they say a zebra, when it's born, the mother takes the child to a solitary place And then the mother look at the child, and the child look at the mother for so very long time. And when they go back to the other zebras, that zebra will always know the mother.
You know,
She will always know. They all the same.
That's why I love podcasting. I always learn something new through podcasts.
It's very much important. So we have to connect that
Yes.
bond with our kids. So even when they see,
Where did you learn this? I'd love to know this.
I heard somebody say that, and I
Oh.
was astonished. Like,
Wow.
wow! I never.
This is profound.
So I was like, this is important. That's we should do the same. We should fight for that connection.
to know
That
each
bond,
other.
that bond must be there because it's very much important. You bond with your child to a point where even when he's adversity, you call and ask him or her, did you eat today? What did you eat? Because you just they're still your child. They grown up like, Mom, I did, but what did you eat?
Come to think, even when I'm not saying when when they get married. I did not get married. Like, there's certain issues in marriage. You have to go back to the parents, to those who brought you to solve certain issues.
Yes. And it will only happen when you created that safe space.
Exactly.
This safe space will sustain us until we leave this earth. It must be there, and it must start while they're still young. Because if we don't create that safe space, when they face challenges, I will go back to my mother, but she'll judge me.
Yeah.
I'll ask my father, but he will be mad. I did this.
He'll ask me, why did
What kind of a person? What? You see? So we have to. Jesus, I will not emphasize this enough. It's an assignment that we need to dedicate ourselves. We need to give it time. We need to be intentional about it. We need to be devoted to it to raise that child.
You know, you are the first woman on our podcast. Did I tell you that?
Oh, hallelujah!
And it seems like from what we have shared for these few minutes, I'm not saying we have surpassed all the episodes or all our guests, but I think you went a little bit deeper than I thought you would, because we do have this kind of a conversation. I had this kind of a conversation with my co-host, and in the previous episode, which is episode 14, we had almost this kind of a conversation, but not there. But we were always general. I don't know if it was because of it's me as a presenter and a host. That is why I wanted to bring someone like you that I have conversated with, so that we can swing and went deeper. But you are the first woman and the first deep.
Amen.
But so far, because of time, I love us to take this last one. You see, you mentioned something that you when you have 5 kids, in reality, it's not 5 kids, it's 5 people.
Yes.
Either be it the president, an engineer, a soldier, an astronaut.
Yes.
You see, those are different kinds of people.
Yes.
Before their characters. That one is a football player. That one loves like drawing. And then that one loves like just play all day, all like. I just wanted to elaborate how we learn our kids from their own nature without instilling a certain nature, because I've noticed Dukuri, simply because it's common in the villages, simply because there are certain conversations I don't like speaking, they expose me. It's common in the villages that the father is a soldier and expect every boy in the family to be a soldier. You understand? How do you come to learn your child? More especially this kind of one that is always sitting, like he does nothing. It's not easy to spot like what he loves and what he hates. How do we learn our child? Of course, First of all, you need to love them equally, all of them. You know,
No one
you always
expects
surprise me.
Love them. Love goes a long way.
Yeah.
It covers a multitude of sin. So you need to love them all equally. Their talents are not equal.
Yes.
Their intelligence are not equal.
Exactly.
Everything about them is not equal,
not
but
equal.
you are expected as a parent to love them equally. Now, when you love them equally, you give them equal time.
Equal
It doesn't
effort.
mean equal effort. It doesn't mean that if that one it seems like it's engineering orientated and then it's high there, you focus more. No, you give them enough time, give them same love,
energy,
same
energy,
energy,
same attitude.
Same attitude. Now, these 5 people, remember I quoted that verse of Jeremiah, chapter number 1, verse number 5. I wanted to derive a point. I wanted to base our conversation on that because they are here for the purpose of God, not for our purposes. Yes, we will. Jesus said, I will quote a scripture. Jesus said to his parents,
You're a Christian, of course.
Yes,
Why not?
when they wanted him, he was at the temple asking questions and learning, and his parents realized that no, this child is not with us. Where is he? They went back to the temple, and when they found him, they said, why did you do this? Why didn't you tell us that you want to remain? Why? And he said, why were you looking for me? Didn't you know that I must be in my father's business? At the age of 12, he understood why he was here on earth. Now, every child has an assignment here on earth. No parent have an assignment for his or her child, but only God. So, in these 5 people, a soldier, an engineer, a singer, and everything, these people need our equal attention, equal love, and equal support. So you'll only learn from them all if you give them enough chance. If you love them equally. You don't look at my talent and say, but this is waste of time. You are called, or maybe you're created and called to do that. You see, parents love to say, they actually dictate their kids' future. Like, you cannot be a musician. That's not a career.
Yeah, like they choose what to support in the family.
Support and what not to support. But in this family, we are
musicians, maybe, or in this family we are football players.
That's wrong.
In this family, you see, your uncle is a social worker. You gotta do this.
Exactly. Now we are. That's wrong.
You see, so
look at the child.
While we are on that for 2 minutes, I think most people are missing this fact, the fact that we are saying, it's not education which will put you up there. It doesn't mean you must not go to school and say you wanna focus on your talent.
Yes.
Like the literacy or the knowledge.
Exactly.
The expansion of experience. We need a certain experience as a child. Like, most people noticed me from what I used to do, Quran Genan Crash. Because of how I do things, how I play with other kids. They will, and I will literally say no, and they laugh, they think I'm joking, until they see Quran. And indeed,
every step is important. We must not miss a step or overlook a step in a child. Every step is very much important, and we have to be in that moment. In life we have different, we encounter, or we be in different seasons in our lives. Every season, make sure that you are there until it ends. Don't jump to the next season, or don't be in a hurry for the next season. Be in that season. Tap into everything that season gives you, whether it's hard, whether it's painful, whether it's jubilee, everything. Gather it, because you need it the next season. So in parenting, it's like that. Enjoy each and every season of your child. and make sure that you give time and love equally to each and everybody. That one who loves to lies around and do nothing, you still have to go and say, what is it that you want to do? You don't remind him that he is just lying down.
And he's in your house,
in my house,
premises.
on my bed. It's everything. It's mine. And that is something that parents we need to stop,
to get rid of.
Because keeping on reminding the kids that this is your home, you create a notion that this is not my place.
They are not welcome.
They are not welcome. That is why
you cannot,
we find
even if you
kids,
don't say it literally.
Exactly. This is my house. This is my house. And then where do I belong?
And then they will want to go and look for where they'll be safe.
We need to learn to speak. We need to learn to communicate well. We need to devote ourselves to this assignment. It is an assignment. I'm not sure if I answered the question.
Yes, you answered the question very well, that every stage must be embraced.
Yes.
Go to school before a music hall or so and like
educated.
And mind you, a talent, I think it's a topic for another day. Like I wanted to say a talent as of music. It's just an idea coming up with you, but it's something which was instilled in me. There is music in me. It's not because God wanted me to make money, but to heal the world. You understand? To speak the message to the world. Like there are always reasons behind every talent, except of making money. It's the last thing. Making money is the last thing before.
See, when it comes to God, when He embedded talents in us, there was no money in His mind. Silver and gold is His.
Yes.
What He wants, when He embeds something in somebody or in a life, He wants to heal the world.
Exactly.
He wants to build the world.
To
He wants to beautify the world. He wants to sustain the world to be what He had in mind when He created the world. So money, it's a bonus. When you do it well, He'll bless you.
He'll bless you.
Yes, it's a bonus. So
let me make it a topic for another day. I'm starting to enjoy this, but my very last question before we conclude. I mean, we are concluding by this question.
Okay.
Before we stop or before we bounce. What do you have to say to? I don't like calling them young parents. They are already, once you have a child, you are a parent, you are responsible now for someone's life.
The assignment starts.
Yes, immediately he's here or she's here. You have to look after them.
Yeah.
What do you have to say to them? Everyone who is a mother, whether no, I'm not offending your people. I have my audience that they know that I'm a very funny man. Right, you understand? Yeah.
That covers me.
Hey, that covers me as my people knows that.
Not anytime soon.
Yes. So those who are old and like.
And this goes to
parents,
young parents, like young fathers and young mothers.
Exactly. As they grow.
You should embrace the fact that you are a parent. Firstly, like I said when we begin, nobody is able to make a child. God forms children, and He uses people who are already here to channel those children to come to the world. So it doesn't matter whether it's planned or unplanned, you wanted them, it's out of wedlock or what, because that we cannot fight that. It's here. It's a reality that we have to deal with it. Now, to the young parents, embrace the fact that you are a parent now and embrace the assignment that you have. Now, it starts with you as a parent. What do you want to see in your child? Whatever it is that you want your child to become, instill that in them. So when they grow, before they grow, go back to God and say, how do I raise this child? Embrace the parent part, embrace the assignment. Now go back to God and say, here is the assignment that you gave me. How do I go about it? And then when now he will reveal, he will show you the ways, he will show you to tackle the challenges you come across, because in this world we'll face challenges. How do we overcome those challenges? We rely on God. Now, when we know all that, then you will raise your child with love, with care, having this goal in your mind that I want this child to be a better person,
to become the best version of themselves.
Best version of themselves. So we start by embracing it. You don't give birth to a child and give that child to your mother and run away. If time allows, make sure that you raise your child yourself. Yeah. So when they're grown, they know you as their mother. They don't call you a sister. They don't call you Malumo or Buti as a father. You are there.
One day we're gonna sit and talk about that.
Yes. Don't throw money as a father, because fathers they're just out there. Don't throw money to your kids and say my kids knows that whatever he needs,
he gets it. Be there as a father, not as a sponsor. You are not sponsoring his life.
No, you have to be there. Build that. Play a football with him. Just be there. Let him know that he has a father. Whether you have money or not, you
can be a father. That is loving and supporting
and that does not need money.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm saying to young parents out there. Don't come 20 years later and say, I left because I did not have money. I was not working then, now I'm working, now I'm here. No. Parenting needs you to be available. That's parenting. Not needs you to have money. No. That will come later. Be there, be a parent, and then go and work and come back and be a parent. That's what I'm saying to young parents out there.
Wow. I love this conversation. Unfortunately, it's not only your time which is limited, also my time is limited, since I told you I'm from So thank you, Sister Ntalo, once more. I feel like we only shot for 10 minutes.
We can do it.
The thing is that now we will fail in a lot of or two or few things, but we'll make time. Definitely, when you are free, just tell me. We'll come and shoot. Okay. Actually, a lot of things we'll discuss after a year, but let me send my credits to you. That thank you for being with me on the lazy room, and thank you for approving our request. Of course, it's something which I really appreciate, looking at how busy you are and looking at the kind of a thing that we want to talk about. You understand? So I don't want to talk most about you, but I want you to talk most about your thoughts in our podcast. That is why I say we'll keep on having you more often. When you have time, just tell me. If I'm also free, we'll shoot.
No problem.
When we are done with our studio, as you said, you'll just come.
No, thank you so much for having me, and I believe that it's a good work that you're doing. I love the fact that let me say it the way I want to say it. Allow me.
Okay.
A young boy from our village is doing what you're doing. I believe that it will encourage a lot of people who are wise. They will be encouraged, and then people who are not, unfortunately, not wise, they will be jealous. People who envy you, they will try to stimulate. Will run away. They will try to.
Let me check on it. Just Just do my things there.
This is beautiful. The reason why I said I'll come is because I've seen that you are doing something that is very, very, very much important. Because most of the times when we look at things like this, we think about Americans. And then if we're thinking in this country, we'll think about Pretoria, Johannesburg, not in Juliusburg, Solan.
Yes.
So keep on doing this, and God bless you. Let Him increase you and give you more opportunities to help other people out there, and young black boys and black girls out there. I want to end this with this quote. Actually, it's Dr. C. Maxwell. He wrote in his book a piece of a poem, a book called Become a People's Person. Be a People's Person. He said, he who knows not, and knows not that he knows not, is a fool. Shun him. He who knows and knows not that he knows, he's asleep. Wake him.
Wake him up.
He who knows not and knows that he knows not, is a child. Teach him. But he who knows and knows that he knows, he's wise. Follow him. So I believe that what you are doing here, you realize that you know that you can do something and you're doing it. And those who are wise out there, they will follow you. But those who knows not and know not that they know not, they are asleep and they will try to pull you down. Do not allow them. Just do what is in your mind, do what you feel, and those who see the importance of what you're doing, I believe they will support you, and I believe that God will open more doors so that you can have more people who will enlighten the community and even the world. You are there. We are building. The world is full of many influencers, but we're not sure whether they influence the world. Their influence into our kids is good, because they are influencers.
But it is not determined if they are good or bad influencers.
Good influencing. So we need people like you. I don't just go around and play, but I came here because I've seen the potential when we were still at Mageza, and I was like, I will do it. And today we are here. I thank God. I thank you for your time.
Wow.
And I thank you for the opportunity.
I'm humbled, definitely. I'm humbled, and thank you for, I don't call them compliments, but I think it's courage. It's what we all need.
Amen.
You understand?
Amen.
Thank you. I'm literally speechless. Like, I'm weak when it comes to someone. I'm emotional weak. I might cry. So keep it that short.
We need to build each other.
Yeah. So thank you once more again, and thank you to everyone who has been watching. Thank you for subscribing, of course, because I know that you did subscribe. And welcome to the Lazy Family. You know, one day we'll talk about why it's named the Lazy Room, but we are doing contrary things. Yes, so this is the Lazy Room. We are the Chambers of Thoughts. And as you know, this is your host, Lord Warrant. And shout out to us. Yeah, I can say shout out because it's shout out to us. So we have made it with our first guest as a woman.
Thank you.
I cannot say you are representing women. Like, those who like to represent women are feminists. We will have feminists to represent women, but to represent feminists only, not every woman. You can understand? So thank you for approving us, and shout out to Emmanuel Assemblies of God for giving us the space to have this interview, since I could only get here. And if I'm leaving anything behind, you'll remind me. We are having you, someone might want to hear you speak more and decide to come to your church just to greet you. So I want to tell them that it's Konje
Madawa.
Name?
Logos Christian International.
Logos Christian
Center International.
Okay. And Madawa. LCCI. Logos LCCI.
International.
Madawa. Yes. So you will get her there just to greet her, but don't crowd there. Yeah. So we'll see each other on our next episode. Shout out to the Lazy Room team. I have seen you working tirelessly. Thank you for your effort. And to everyone, to our supporters, sponsors, everyone. When I'm talking about sponsors, someone might assume that we already have sponsors. I'm a very believing man that I don't wait for something to happen. I speak for it to happen.
Ezekiel, speak to these bones and they will live.
Exactly. So
the dry bones.
when I'm saying thank you to sponsors, basically in my mind I already have sponsors, not because we have sponsors, because So we'll see each other in the next episode. Check this page, Facebook page. We are running a competition there. We're giving away 50 rand airtime to our subscribers. You can check on how you participate, and our podcast is also available. Again, I'll keep on saying this, so until you take out a pen and write it down, that it's available on AfroPods, Google Podcast. You'll check the Facebook page. The list is there. It's almost endless list. So see you. You have any last words to say, or anything to say?
No, thank you so much, and enjoy the podcast. I believe and I hope that it's enlightening and it's informative and educating. So keep on watching, keep on downloading, keep on supporting Warrant, and keep on learning. That's what I say.
Underline where keep on supporting Warrant.
Thank
Thank you. I think we are done now.
Amen. Thank you.